Alright, guys, we are back for another Dokkan Battle video. So, we got a new EZA TUR, Trunks and Goten. They are very good. They do pretty much feel like a step above all the other characters. I think maybe we could potentially try and argue, maybe like a couple of the other ones that are like real close. We'll get to that when we get there, but Trunks and Goten to me feel like a clear step up, which does leave me a little confused as to what the hell Int Broly is supposed to be, but it is what it is. Speaking of Int Broly, let's start with him. Let's just jump right in. By the way, there's not really too much that has changed. I would say there's two things that have changed. There's Trunks and Goten. Well, I mean, Trunks and Goten are out, obviously. But there is the Kamehameha team by Gohan. But, I mean, I do think that the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks team is superior. But the Int Broly Uncontrollable Power team is a real force. And, a couple of characters like Physical Kid Buu are on that. So keep that in mind. Int Broly, I would say, is quite disappointing. Even against, like, a Goku that's, one of these, I haven't been super impressed by him. He, I think, gets hit way too hard. I mean, if he's just going to sit there and tank normals in, like, slot 3, and, you have some of his conditions up, like, he's okay-ish. I do just wish he was a little bit better. Like many characters in years past, take a little bit of offense away from this guy, give him defense, and he becomes way better. The way these teams will work is, the leaders are going to just be able to kill the bosses almost by themselves with a little bit of help, and then you just need other characters to not die for them. Like, that's it, right? This Broly, I feel like they did miss the mark with him. I really would have rather he not be like spot 10 right here, but I don't find him impressive. Unless you have both conditions up, he just doesn't really feel very impressive. Exchange Majin Buu, unfortunately, falls quite a bit. Exchange Majin Buu is a character that needs another Majin Power ally to have the 70% damage reduction. Right now, it really hurts them. You're not running this, like, Buu as a rotation. It's just not... It's, this was good before we got the next wave of content with the Tanabata Supreme Magnificent Battle, and then the, Bulma event, the Exciting Heroine Battle. Those hurt the Majin Buu Saga team quite a bit. I mean, again, don't twist my words. I'm not saying it's impossible to win, but I'm saying the difficulty ramps way up for those teams. And I think, as a consequence, some of these characters like these Boos should drop down a little bit. I mean, this character was solid, but, I mean, EZA TURs are meant to be, additions to the teams they're on to help them, fully be runnable. The Exchange Buu, they were good for their time, but, I mean, seems like their time is running up. I want to grab the next two. Okay. Kid Buu and then Future Gohan. Now, I actually went back and forth with these two a little bit. I feel like Future Gohan is a little under the radar for people right now, but obviously things have changed drastically for him with the introduction of Goku, Gohan, and Trunks. So, I mean, this guy is really impressive on the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks team. You know what he kind of is like? He's kind of like Kid Buu with a little bit worse support, a little bit. But he doesn't have to get hit for his damage reduction. That's, to me, kind of the issue with this guy. If this guy just didn't have to get hit, getting hit is brutal. Because this is a character that can only go in slot 2 and slot 3. So it is very much out of your control, oftentimes, if this guy is going to get hit and stuff like that. I do like him, though, and speaking of the uncontrollable power team, the Int LR Broly team, this guy is a capable, helpful option for that team. Kid Buu is on uncontrollable power, and, he is good to use as the last option of the team. I did want to put him up a little bit higher, but I feel like this is fine. Again, Int Future Gohan will fulfill a pretty similar role as Kid Buu, although I guess... I mean, when he transforms, I don't like him as much, really. Because of the loss of support. This is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go switch up on the fly and I'm actually gonna put Kid Buu above Future Gohan. I don't know. Maybe I should have left Future Gohan there, but Kid Buu, I mean, I've tested it out a little bit. Kid Buu does work well on Uncontrollable Power. The one issue with Kid Buu on Uncontrollable Power, besides if he just gets killed in like slot 3 or something like that, would be, and don't say, oh, well, Broly has a revive. Yeah, he's got a revive from 5th turn from the start of turn, dude. Like, yeah, you get there eventually. But, one issue about this guy is he's not on, like, he's not a movie boss's character, which is what Uncontrollable Power basically is, which means if he's on a rotation with Cell Max is not going to have his extra defense. That's one thing, but yeah, I mean, we could put Kid Buu above Future Gohan. That does feel right. Then I want to just grab a bunch of these characters, man. We're just going to grab a bunch of them in a row. Bam, 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 bam. What this is this is a bunch of, I mean, just dodge or die characters. I kind of have them order of, you know, how effective I think they could be, how often they die and stuff like that. In Gotenks, while effective, it can be difficult to transform with him. The hardest fight in the game, of course, the nastiest phase is the physical 17 of Golden Frieza. Oftentimes it feels very punishing bringing int units into that fight because it is very difficult to hide from 17 and Golden Frieza. They just hit so goddamn hard. And when you're a character that's relying on dodge and that god of destruction, 17 and Golden Frieza sitting there, it could be brutal. Tech Gotenks is really solid. After super attacking, of course, he has tremendous amounts of dodge, which can be very handy. Use him a little bit. Videl, I like quite a bit. I do like Videl, but I mean, she's a true cold-blooded dodge or die in many of these situations. She can be eradicated very easily, but she could also sun the hardest fight in the game, Goku and Frieza. Being an STR character right now is very good because that makes you type advantage against, in my opinion, the scariest phase in the game, 17 and Golden Frieza. I know Goku and Frieza are kind of like the main boss there, but I am personally more threatened by 17. 17 and Golden Frieza have killed me exponentially, like they've killed me 100 times more than I've died to Goku and Frieza, right? So STR characters right now being able to just rock 17 and Golden Frieza shit and be, you know, capable defensively, is very nice. And obviously Videl can do incredible damage in there. I like Videl. I like Videl. Kefla is very good. I think only Kefla, Tech Gohan, and then Trunks and Goten even have a claim at number 1. But the thing is, Trunks and Goten do, like, Kefla's peak, Trunks and Goten do seemingly for free, is what it is. Kefla can be very good, but, you know, you do still need a ton of orbs to be able to dodge with Kefla, right? Like, you're going to have to be able to be getting orbs. Now, on several of these teams, orbs aren't the worst ever. You can run around the Goku, Gohan, and Trunks team. You could run a lot of orb changers, but, I mean, Goku, Gohan, and Trunks do need orbs as well. That is something that, you know, there is to consider. There's the Roshi team, but, I mean, I really hate the Master Roshi team. It dies nonstop. You can kind of almost like artificially induce high stats for some of the characters on that team to bait on Twitter or something like that, but the team dies at a ridiculously high rate because there are no tanks on the Roshi team. It is every character is dodge or die. So that is definitely a problem. I like Kefla though. While I do think, here, let's just go ahead and skip to the chase. Let's get them up there, and then I just wanted to show this. While I do think Kefla and Tech Gohan have a claim to number 1, I think that Trunks and Goten are way higher. Videl is good, though. Again, Videl can put up high damage. She's got dodge. She's a very elite EZA. Considering this is a character that came out in February on Global, I mean, she really is like, I don't know, like, I still feel pretty comfortable and confident with her. Like, this feels like almost like a Hall of Fame level character to me, just how long she's been very good. We have Tech Gohan. Now, Tech Gohan can be, the situation can certainly matter, but this guy obviously can be very, very tanky. Against the very, very hardest bosses, though, it's, you know, a little bit tougher for him to be able to live Goku and Frieza or Bulma or something like that. but this guy can get the job done. There is, you know, quite a bit of RNG there on how many super attacks you're getting, you know, what his linking partners look like matters, you know, with how much defense he gets from his links. This guy can still be a very impressive tank character. You know, the days of 2021 and shit like that are gone, right? Even with his EZA, but I do still think he's an effective character. And then I don't know. I don't even really feel like I need to talk about Trunks and Goten very much. Am I crazy, or is it not just obvious? Right? It's just like, you just see them and it's just like, oh, they're different. They're on a different level. Like what Kefla can do when people are going crazy about her, Trunks and Goten could do that like on turn 1. Like, they just look absolutely ridiculous. They have a very easy 100% dodge turn. The other, you know, there are a couple of Kid Trunks and Kid Goten cards that are easy enough to run. So I don't know, man. I like this character. I think that they're good. I think they've got a lot to operate with. In terms of weaknesses, it's just the fact that, you know, they have to build up like Kid Buu or something like that. They have to have all, you know, attacks targeted at them right here. But the thing that's good, you could dodge. Dodging counts as build up, or getting hit counts as build up. That's a really great design right there, which works super well. But at the start of the fight, you're not really getting them in slot 1. You pretty much can't do that. So you are a little bit at the mercy of if the enemy is going to attack slot 2 or slot 3. If you have the active up, obviously you could put them in slot 1. You'll have 100% dodge. But that is kind of like the one issue with this character that I've found, right? Is that sometimes, you know, getting them built up early on can be a bit of a pain in the ass. But, I mean, this is a character that could very realistically have 80% crit, 80% dodge, 30% damage reduction, and a 50% chance of an additional super just in their base kit, right? Like, they're ridiculous, and I do think that they're a level above what we've got kind of with the rest of the EZA TURs. I do think that they are just flat out that good, right? So here we go. Here's how I would list this right here. So Physical Goku Black is the one who falls off. Super Bosses is not gonna feel even half as good as like Uncontrollable Power and shit like that. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the incredible weakness of the leaders of Super Boss, AGL, Broly, and Physical Rose. While they can be good characters, they can't go slot 1, which unfortunately does matter a lot. So with them being unable to go slot 1, you know, you have like no slot 1 characters on the team and you're just disintegrated. Unfortunately, in this current environment with Bulma and Goku and Frieza and a lot of these bosses of this year, I mean, again, I have to harp on it a lot, but you do have to be able to go slot 1. Right, like people fall in love with these slot 2 damage dealers. They're a dime a dozen. There's a million of those everywhere. They're falling off trees. They're everywhere. Damage dealing slot 2 characters. You're gonna need characters who could be able to handle business in slot 1. Right. And some of the top characters on here are characters who can do that. Right, which is why they're at the top. So let me know what you guys think. Let's just take one last glance at this. I think I would like it to just be. Oh, perfect. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Yeah. I moved Kid Buu up a little bit from where he was before. I think the Uncontrollable Power team certainly, it does help. Again, I use Kid Buu a little bit on the team. He fits fine, right? You have the Brolys massacring everything. Kid Buu is giving them extra damage, and you could, you know, keep him out of harm's way fairly consistently. But, I mean, obviously he can be punished and killed. So, let me know what you guys think about the top 10 EZA TURs. Trunks and Goten, though, definitely feel like a huge step up